up, everybody? It's your boy Daddy Goodz, and today we got Miss Taylor,
Hello.
the Barefoot baby. I like that name.
Thank you.
Keeping it nice and simple, letting them know what's going
Yeah.
on with, with the brand. That's what's up. That's what's up. It's good to have you on the podcast here. Thank you for taking your time to be on this podcast and getting ready to share some of your life with everybody. So shout out to that.
Thank you for having me.
I thought it was cool that when I hit you up, you're like, I don't know, I've never been on a podcast before. What do I do?
Yeah, I mean, it's like weird seeing myself out there. But I mean, it seems fun. So I wanted to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like that's something that you're getting more involved with lately as far as putting yourself out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I've always been on social media and whatnot, but having my following growing and stuff, it's kind of nerve-wracking,
Yeah.
So many people seeing all my moves and being out
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. But it's newer, right? Doing more of the foot side of things.
Yeah, the foot side of things is definitely newer. I've only had my account for a month now, so it's definitely
Oh,
brand new.
stop it. And you're just growing like crazy right now.
Yeah, it's insane. It's crazy right now. But I'm hoping that my account stays up for a while. It's I've been seeing how all the foot models, they keep getting deleted and whatnot. So
Yep.
it's kind of scary.
Yep. Backup accounts help a lot, I think, in those cases. And having a lot of your following go to those backup accounts before that does happen. Hopefully it doesn't, though. But yeah, like you said, it does.
It's kind of weird, trying to figure out, because some accounts seem to stay up for a really long time and not get deleted, and then some people get taken down constantly. I'm wondering why.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some kind of flagging system, I think, with IP addresses, the username in general, because oftentimes when a page gets taken down, they come back with a very similar name, maybe, add certain letters and everything. Like for instance, with your IG and Twitter right now, you got Barefoot Baby, but it's B Baby. There's an extra B. Was there a reason for that you had an extra B?
I wanted regular Barefoot Baby, but that username was already taken. So I just, had to figure out a way to keep it similar spelling, but I didn't want to add numbers and a bunch of crazy stuff at the end either. So
Right. Yeah, it seemed like you came out of nowhere though, because I seen your reel on my other page, not even the Plenty of Feet Pod Instagram. I was on the Daddy Goodz IG and it popped up on reels just randomly. I was like, oh, I've never seen that face before. Clicked on it, and it seems like you have a reel that's really gaining traction right now on your IG.
Yeah, I had a reel. So that one actually had gotten taken down, but I think it's at 350,000 views or something crazy. So yeah,
That one got taken down?
Getting really popular.
Oh, okay. But that's not the one that got taken down, no?
It did. It got taken down, but I disputed it and they put it back up. They said it didn't go against community guidelines. So I'm guessing it got so many views that people who, don't like feet probably reported it.
Right. It's crazy though that you want to dispute. I feel like you want to dispute for the whole entire FFC, the community. Real talk, man. We gotta. that was a community win right there, because a lot of times people don't win those kind of disputes. So the fact that you did that, it's okay, we might be on the track of something good right now. Maybe they're finally starting to loosen up the grips a little bit, because it has been crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna dispute anything that they try and take down, whether it's my entire account or just a post that I do. I'm definitely gonna dispute every time. So
yeah, facts.
That's not right. There's girls out here, almost naked, and they're not getting taken down, which we're not doing anything like that.
I feel you. Yeah, I truly don't understand. And a lot of times it's the comments and the interaction that people may get from that kind of content.
Yeah.
But I just don't get it, because like you said, there's way more explicit content available on Instagram, and I've seen actual nudity on Instagram, and those
Yeah.
pages stick around forever. I know it's like a mind-boggling situation that none of us understand, and we can only hope that it gets better over time, because it's kind of frightening to be able to build a following that could one day just be pulled right from under you. And it's like, man, like, why would I even be on this platform? That's kind of how I feel about like TikTok. Like, TikTok doesn't let me post anything, dude. Everything is some way, shape, or form censored. I'm like, damn, are you on TikTok?
What are you trying to post on TikTok? Just like your podcast stuff, and there's still.
Yeah. Yep. Podcast clips from the podcast, where it might be like a 30-second to a minute clip of me talking with a guest, and yeah, I upload it, and they'll say, oh, adult content, and I'm like, wait, what? There's no nudity or nothing like that, and I'll
Yeah.
dispute it. And if I get enough of those censors on my TikTok, it'll just pull it. So I'm just thinking, like, is it just a waste of time? Like, why would I even put in the effort and energy to upload to TikTok? Because it takes time. It's not like a simple, you just upload a clip. I mean, I guess I could
Yeah.
make it quicker, but I like to make it look nice as well,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're putting in all that time and energy into it, and for it to get taken down, that sucks.
Absolutely. So I got something interesting for you. I was on Twitter, right? I was just kind of going through my mentions, and I seen somebody has recently tweeted both you and I, and the person said, "What is that for?" Talking about the podcast, right?
Yeah,
And
I saw that too.
I thought that was an interesting question, though, because I recognize that person, and that is somebody who probably like months ago I asked if they would like to be on the podcast, because I see that they're out there quite a bit,
Right.
and they just flat out said no, right? Like, no interaction or nothing like that. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And then I see that question come in on Twitter, and I just thought it was kind of funny, right? Not in like I'm not trying to be like in a confrontational type of way, but the question being, what is that for? I was like, that's interesting, because I feel like maybe some people really truly don't understand what's going on here with a podcast being a podcast. Like, what would being on a podcast, like, what would it be for it to you in your like explanation of it?
Yeah, I mean, just having a conversation and just allowing people to hear like two people coming together and just talk about different things, and I don't think it has to necessarily be for a specific reason either. So
Right.
yeah, it just seems fun, and also a way to I don't know, kind of like advertise on both ends, like we're like cross promoting, and yeah, it's just a fun thing to do.
Bingo, you said it. That's what I was looking for. Like, cross promoting, rubbing elbows, networking, publicity, trying to get your brand out there more. It's everything, all of that combined in one. And plus, you have fun doing it and everything. So I thought it was a good question from that person, but I was like, let me ask Taylor on the actual podcast, because that's just what it is. It's a way to cross promote and get your brand out there in any kind of business that you do, because I mean, this could be a business too. It is a business at the end of the day, right? So I'm sure you probably have an OF, correct?
Yeah, I do.
Right. And so it's a way to, also, get your business out there, get your business further. It's just like anything else, any other content that a content creator would do. You want to put it out there because you want more eyeballs to see it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then for other people too who are curious about it, I think, seeing other girls coming on the podcast, they might get more like curious or interested in doing it themselves, because it sounds like maybe you were saying that person was hesitant like before, but that obviously sparks some sort of interest.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of hesitation, when you were getting into making foot content, was there any kind of hesitation there for you?
I don't think so. So I'm a bikini barista. I kind of already work in like a similar field, I guess you could say, where like I don't know if you've heard of bikini baristaing before.
I have.
Okay, yeah. So I do that, and it's fun, and I like it. So this was just kind of a different branch and like an online version, but with feet. I don't know.
What was the initial trigger to make you want to jump into it?
Well, my best friend, she does it, and people started finding my Instagram page, just my regular Instagram. They started messaging me, and yeah, I don't know. It just seemed fun. She really enjoys it, and she was telling me that the foot community, how great it is. So after getting
Absolutely.
a few messages, I was thinking I should actually try it myself.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. You actually got shouted out last week during my podcast episode with Savannah James. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so she's from California too, and I think we're gonna try and do some collabs here in the future.
Yeah, that's what she had mentioned, that she would love to do some collaborations with you. Have you ever dabbled in collabing at all yet?
Yeah, just with my best friend. That the person who basically got me into this. It's the only person I've collabed with so far.
Right. Now, like as far as collabing goes, do you feel like how how would the collaboration go? Like, do you have any ideas?
Like as far as content, or do you mean like
Mhm.
with other creators and?
Yeah, like so I see a lot of models, a lot of the collaborations are, like they really, they get down, they do worshiping of each other and all of those things. And then you see some collaborations where it's more so just photos, just being right next to each other and things like that. Do you feel like you have a like a foot fetish at all?
Um, Not really. I think like massage wise and having my feet worshipped possibly.
Right.
Yes, but as far as myself, not really. And so I think like with collaborations, I would do more like photo sets and like fun videos is like kind of what I've already been trying to do with my best friend. So
Right, that's what's up. I mean, it's all modeling at the end of the day, and I'm sure even with the barista, bikini barista gig, I believe there's like modeling involved in that as well, right?
yeah, actually the brand I work for, they do their own calendars. So I've done a few of like their calendar shoots and stuff like that. So yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Mhm.
Is that an interesting job to say the
Oh
least?
yeah, it's very interesting. You meet a lot of fun people.
Is there ever like kind of like weird situations that you have to encounter, like a stalker maybe or anything like that?
Um, I personally have not had a stalker, but I would say too, like a lot of the girls. So like most of the time, people are comfortable, but I've definitely had like worked with girls who have been like really nervous or like scared about that type of situation happening. Um, and we have like one of the emergency buttons at work where it'll like set off a silent alarm and cops will come like in case of anything. And I've had girls set the silent alarm off, like for random stuff that they just get like really spooked about, uh, like homeless people outside, stuff like that, where in reality they're fine, but I think they just like have that heightened sense while they're at work. They're like, oh my gosh, anything could happen.
Yeah, no, it's true. Anything could happen. And
Mm-hmm.
shout out to that company for having an emergency button. I mean, I think that's super serious and important to have. So that's good right there. I mean, we got to protect our women. There's just so much, going on in the world today in general, and especially with women that, it's mandatory that we protect our women. It's very very Tupac mentality, because you remember that song by Tupac. What song was it? I can't remember the song, but he had a lot of women uplifting lyrics in his music,
Mm-hmm.
and it's something that we must do, is protect our women.
Yeah,
Especially with the Wade versus Rose stuff going on right now.
I know it's crazy. I don't know where we're headed with all of that, but
Well, what do you like? Like, I know this isn't a political podcast, but like, what's your take on all that?
oh, I'm definitely pro-choice, and I'm completely against like the ruling that just happened. I also saw on Twitter today that somebody said that they just ruled too, that schools can or like teachers can lead prayer now in class, which I looked up the case and I saw like why the ruling happened. It was a football coach who would pray after football games, which I think is fine, but it's a slippery slope when you start ruling in that direction, especially when it's leaning towards one person's religion, because not everybody has the same religion. And if it's okay for this person to like pray at school and teach the kids one religion, but it's not going to, like, parents aren't going to agree when it's someone else's religion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Wow, I didn't even hear about that. That's interesting. It's like everything happens all at once, and then if there's one that overshadows all of the other situations going on, you don't even know about that.
Yeah. Well, it just seems like, I mean, I don't know if necessarily the ruling with Roe versus Wade was religious at all, but it does sound like there's a lot of crossover right now with some of the rulings that they're doing.
Yeah, no, totally. It is seriously
Sorry,
everything.
my dog.
It's all good. It happens more than you would think. We get a lot of animals, a lot of podcasts, a lot of dogs, cats. What kind of dog do you have?
Yeah, there's a mailman outside right now. They don't like the mailman.
That's like the most typical dog barking situation I've ever heard of.
Cliche for sure. We always joke. We say that they're getting mad because they think that the mailmen come and like take stuff off of our porch and stuff all the time.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you never know though. I mean, there's a lot of porch pirates out there these days.
Oh yeah, so my boyfriend, he buys and sells Nike shoes. And in the past week, because we hit on like 4 pairs of shoes, he got 2 pairs of them stolen, and it's before they even get delivered. It's through FedEx. So I don't know, there's a lot of employees through FedEx who will like take Nike shoes because it's not discreet packaging at all. They put Nike on the box, and yeah, there's a lot of theft within the shoe world.
Oh yeah, no, totally. I could only imagine. And like when that box is outside of somebody's house, on a porch, and they see Nike, that's like an instant. They'll want to come and grab that. Oh wow, that's what's up, man. Shout out to your boyfriend, man. Being a real person that is needed in the community. A lot of shoe heads in the world.
That's true. He went to SneakerCon recently and he got this pair of socks that say "I love feet," and he was like, "I got these for you," and I was at SneakerCon.
How does he feel about everything you got going on right now?
Oh, he's super supportive. He helps me out with some of my like video requests and stuff. So yeah, he likes it.
I feel like the more this is becoming a regular thing, the more guys are open to the idea of their girlfriends or their just their significant others in general, creating content, and they're being really supportive. They're getting behind the camera. They're becoming videographers and photographers.
I know, right? They're getting all the good angles.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so with your boyfriend being the person behind the lens in a lot of scenarios, I bet you at some point he's probably going to really enjoy, doing these photos. He's going to actually become the photo man. Like, let's say you got some friends who get into this as well. Would you be open to allowing him to be in like the photographer for other models as well?
Oh yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, it's like, as long as the other models are comfortable with it and stuff, like, I think it's, why not?
Yeah, I hear you. Well, let's get back into that. We'll do a foot commercial right now, and then we'll come back. Shout out to Taylor, aka Barefootbaby. Appreciate her being on the podcast, and thank you for anybody watching this live right now. I see that there's some live viewers. Drop some fire emojis in the comments. Appreciate you all for watching. This video is available on YouTube, of course, because that's where you're watching it right now. Also on Spotify. The audio will also be available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all those places. This is Taylor, aka Barefoot Baby. Her IG and Twitter handle is BAREFOOTBBABY. If you are curious, that's where you can follow her. Let me give some shout outs here in the comments real quick. Shout out to Heating Up. He says, can we see her pedicure? All right. Shout out to Nelson, Chris. Shout out to Tyler. You guys are running the comments. Shout out to Alan. Shout out to Covering Darkness. Shout out to everybody in the comments. William Lewis. Right on. Hey, don't be shy if you're here watching this live. Go ahead and drop that comment. Let's see, we got the live viewers. All right, here we go. All right, we're back. So, do you feel like your boyfriend has a foot fetish for you at all?
I feel like he's starting to, for sure.
Like, has he ever told you that your feet stink in the past?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
We rock climb and we hike. So, I mean, especially after doing stuff like that. I don't know if you've ever smelled rock climbing shoes, but yeah, they can get pretty stinky.
Wow, you rock climb. That's really intense right there, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, I would say so. My family, especially, they're, always telling me to be safe. But once you know what you're doing, like, the gear is safe. It's just basically, getting over the fear in your head, which a lot of people have that fear of heights. I wouldn't necessarily say I have a fear of heights, but that would probably be the most challenging part for a lot of people.
When you look down, is it kind of trippy to see how far up you are?
Yeah, for sure. Especially like some climbs are very exposed where you're like just on the side of a huge. So I'm near Yosemite, so there's like a lot of granite out there. So a lot of the stuff in Yosemite is very exposed, whereas like some climbs it's more gradual and you have like different levels underneath you as you're going up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy, and you can get some of the best views rock climbing and get to places that not a lot of people go to.
Do you know how tall the tallest mountain is that you climbed?
I think like elevation wise or the climb itself, because I've done stuff up at like, you reach up to like 8,000 feet, but the actual climb itself, I think, is like 700 to 900. I haven't done any big walls where you have to like stay overnight and sleep on the wall, but yeah.
That is like crazy to think about, sleeping on the side of a wall, just hanging there, right?
Yeah.
That's trippy. Did you watch Free Solo on, I think, Netflix?
Yeah, of course.
What do you think about that guy rock climbing with no gear?
I mean, to each their own, but yeah, I have free soloed like little things, like, a few like 50 feet type of stuff, but that's insane. And I mean, if he feels confident and safe doing it, by all means, but I don't know if it's worth the risk.
What's the adrenaline rush like when you're climbing a mountain?
I think depending, so there's different types of climbing, and with free climbing where you're like using traditional gear, you have one person leading and one person following. So if you're the person leading, you definitely get an adrenaline rush. But when you're the person following, I think it's more peaceful, actually.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredibly interesting right there. And like, so like help me like kind of like visualize this, because I don't really know much about rock climbing at all. And I'm sure there's probably a lot of people that will listen to this and they're like, I don't know anything about rock climbing. Like where's the rope go? Like if it's all the way at the top of, is it at the top of the mountain, or like?
So you have to take it up as you go. There's sport climbing where you have bolts that are already bolted into the rock, And as you climb up, you clip carabiners, and then you clip your rope into that carabiner, and then you climb above it, and you keep doing that. So you're actually taking the rope with you as you go up. And same thing with traditional climbing. But with traditional climbing, you're staying along a crack, and you have pieces of gear that they like close and open in the crack, and it wedges in there, and that's what's holding you. So you place it in the crack, and then you clip your rope into that piece of gear, and then you climb above it, and you just keep doing that as you go up. So that's why I'm saying, like, that's the person who's leading. They have to take the rope up as they go, and they're climbing above the rope. But the person underneath, the entire rope is above them, and you can like hang on the rope as you're climbing. I mean, you're not hanging on it, but you have that rope security, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Have you ever seen a bolt come down from the mountain or come off like as you're trying to bolt on?
Yeah, so there's definitely times, not the ones that are bolted, but when you're traditional climbing, you can have pieces blow and come out of the crack. So you have to make sure that your placements are really good and secure. And also, if there's one that you're like unsure about, maybe place another one close by, because if you take a fall, then your pieces can blow.
That is just the most frightening thing I've ever heard in my life. I
Yeah,
could
so
never
don't fall,
imagine.
but no, you can. Most of the time, the gear is good, and everything is graded to hold like a lot of force and weight.
Do you feel like you have to be an athlete already to participate in rock climbing?
No, I don't think so. I mean, for that type of climbing, probably, and you would definitely need somebody who, because it's a heady sport, you need somebody who knows what they're doing. But when it comes to like top roping, just like a single pitch climb, as long as you have somebody who knows how to set it up, anybody can do it. It's kind of an expensive sport to start getting into, because you do have to buy, your shoes and like a harness, if you are going to be doing rope climbing and that kind of stuff. But
Right.
yeah, I would say you don't have to be an athlete to start and do like the entry level type climbing.
Yeah, because I'm just like envisioning myself trying to do it right now, and I'm just like, man, like, will I freeze up like going up halfway, or like, is there ever like cramping scenarios where you're just like, oh shit, I can't move?
Yeah, I mean, you get into some really like weird positions, especially when you're crack climbing. You have to like wedge your foot into the crack and then spin your ankle. So yeah, there's definitely some like painful moves that you have to like pull through.
Hey, don't mess up the money makers now.
True.
Have you ever went skydiving?
No, I haven't. Actually, I think I've always said I want to go skydiving, but the older I get and the more I think about it, I don't know, it sounds so scary.
No, it definitely does. I don't know why. Like I feel like that's something that you and your boyfriend would do.
Yeah, him for sure. I like, part of me says I would, but oh gosh, when I actually think about it, it sounds terrifying.
Facts. All right, so I want to ask you a question, right?
Mhm.
And it stems from a comment that I recently received on a recent episode, and I seen that it's something that you do on your Twitter, and I don't know why it's never came up to me before in 78 episodes while talking with my guests, but I think that maybe you would be able to clarify this question for somebody who loves this content. I seen on your Twitter that you have a tribute fee, right?
Mhm.
Like, can you like kind of go into that maybe like on what that is there for? Like, what does it do for you as a model and content creator?
Yeah, so for me, well, I know a lot of people do specifically FinDom content, financial domination, and that's usually like where it's seen the most, I think. Me, I'm not just FinDom. I'll do like, I'll do any type of request that I get for the most part. I mean, to a certain extent,
Right.
but for me, what it does, because I've obviously only had my page for about a month or so. I
Mhm.
had been replying to like, anybody's messages and requests. People message me for customs, and a lot of the time, I get into these discussions and they're lasting so long, but then these people never get around to actually buying content. So for
Right.
me, what the tribute does, and like this can go towards that person's custom that they're requesting as well.
Hmm.
It's just solidifying that this person is serious and they want the content that they're requesting. Because I've wasted a lot of time talking to people who actually don't end up buying anything. And I don't mind like chatting with people and having conversations and stuff like that. But, when I am spending all this time talking to people who are saying they want to buy something and then they never do, it's kind of like, okay, like I have to create some sort of boundary here.
I feel you. So it's more so a time management piece than anything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. And see, I kind of figured that, but for the people who don't necessarily understand it or want more explanation on it, I think that was a good one for you to do a rundown on, because I think it can get a little confusing when it comes to a tribute fee. I In the comment that was left, the person used an analogy saying, like, imagine going to a grocery store and there's no groceries in the grocery store, and it says go to the back, and then you get to the back and they say you must pay a fee before you see the groceries. And I was like, you know what, like that's an understandable analogy, but my bet would be that it's put there to keep business flowing properly, like keeping the more serious people around than anything, so that you don't get your time wasted, because I'm sure that happens a lot where people will come and try to get free content as well.
Oh yeah, it happens more times than not, unfortunately. But I think the longer you've been doing it, you probably are able to better weed out that type of person, more from the get go. But also with the whole grocery analogy, it's like we put a lot of free content out already on Twitter, Instagram, even like my OnlyFans page it's a free subscription. So all of those pictures and video clips that I put out, you know, you're seeing the groceries, but do you want to buy any?
Right, I see what you're saying. Has there been any shocking requests?
Yeah. I feel like I don't want to, if somebody who requested this is watching, really like
Mhm.
call them out. But I think the strangest thing that I've heard is a birthing request. I don't know if you've heard of that before, but
No, I haven't heard of that. So would
yeah,
it be kind of like acting as if you're giving birth?
exactly. Yeah.
That's a new one. I've yet
Hmm.
to hear that.
Yeah. Same.
So like going through like making it seem like painful type of deal, or
Yeah, like you're really struggling to push something out.
wow, that's interesting right there. Yeah, no, I mean, no kink shaming around here on this podcast, because
Exactly.
a lot of people that enjoy this podcast, they have different kinks and what have you. That's interesting. Have you ever gave birth before?
I have not. No, I don't
Okay.
have any kids. I have my dogs. They're enough for me.
Those are the fur babies right there.
Yeah, my fur babies.
I was standing in a room when my wife gave birth, and I gotta say, man, what women have to go through is like next level shit right there.
Yeah, insane.
That's the portal of life, to be honest.
It is.
So when men call women goddess, or when anybody calls women goddess, like, it actually makes sense, because without women, none of us would be here. And that's why I'm just so shocked, man, that every all this crazy stuff is going on. I'm like, man, like, people really think that they should have the ability and power to control women, when women actually bring us into the earth. I don't know, man. It's just crazy to me.
I know. No, I'm 100% with you. I agree. I don't think it's right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's an interesting request, to say the least, right there. But I mean, I'm sure that you're expecting it to get even more intense as time goes on.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I'll hear anything and everything.
Right. So is the content, like, how would you describe your content right now for the people that are interested? Is there any like nudity, or how would
I
you
don't do nudity. I'll do implied and lingerie. I have a lot of, like see-through lingerie type stuff. And I've been kind of debating back and forth whether I want to post stuff like that or not. And I kind of did on my paid page post, something that showed a little bit more.
Mhm.
But yeah, other than that, I don't think that I'm gonna be going towards nudity at all. Just kind
Yeah.
of just the feet.
Yeah, no, that's what it was like originally, very much so based around this whole world. And I think
Mm-hmm.
over time, models started, showing a little bit more and everything. Shout out to those models. But
Mm-hmm.
no, there's definitely a lot of very popular models who don't do any kind of nudity whatsoever. So there's definitely a market for that, because a lot of times, oftentimes, guys, they really do like just the feet, and the fact that there's face involved in it as well adds a little bit of character.
Mm-hmm.
And also, being a part of a podcast, they get to see some personality and everything. So shout out to that.
Yeah.
Well, let's do a foot commercial, and then we'll come back and we'll get into a couple more things here. Once again, shout out to everybody here on the live. Smash the like button if you have not already. It helps the podcast greatly. Subscribe now if you haven't already as well. Let's see here. Yes, sir. Shout out to DJ GOJ. Shout out to Jay. He says, so gorgeous. Shout out to Main. He says, Goodz is the greatest. Damn, that's crazy, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. I know Tyler. So Tyler, he's in here quite often, and he always says, I'm gonna say it for you, Tyler, before you even say it. He always says, how far can the model spread her toes? Boom, there you go. That's kind of far though. Hey, Taylor, I'll tell you something funny, is that I knew he was gonna say that, and I said that just as his comment came in. He's laughing. Shout out to him. So, Taylor, like, what are some things that you hope people know about you that you feel like they may not know about you right now?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think that I'm just a normal person, and also that I have a life outside of this, because I think a lot of people get like really consumed in this world and don't realize that we have a lot of other responsibilities and things going on outside of this.
Yeah, no, that's facts right there. A lot of times, I think that can be something that's forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
But
I have a lot of people, or people will message me, and I think if I take like some time off, like time away from social media and stuff, I come back and they're like freaking out, kind of like, where did you go? Or I don't know if they think I'm ignoring them type of stuff, but I'm like, whoa, it's been a couple hours, like.
Right. So you feel like mental breaks are totally necessary?
Yeah, absolutely. Like this past weekend, I just went camping with some of my friends, and it was really nice to have a couple of days away, just out of service completely,
Yeah. What are the stars like in Yosemite?
Ooh, they're insane. You can see the entire Milky Way galaxy, the whole like cloudy strip in the middle. It's so cool.
That's wild to hear. So you can actually see the Milky Way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. As long as it's clear, if it's not a cloudy night or you don't have a full moon, if it's dark enough, you can absolutely see the Milky Way. You can catch some shooting stars.
Are you into astrology at all?
A little bit. you know, I know my sun, my moon, and my rising type stuff, but beyond that, it's interesting. I don't look into it that much, and you know, if someone wants to tell me more about my chart and all of that, then that's pretty cool. But
Okay, I have the question of the entire podcast right now. Are you ready for it?
yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Is the earth round or flat?
Oh, do not even go there. It's 100% round.
Okay. All
It's
right.
not flat.
I got
Absolutely
you. I
not.
got you. Do you get annoyed when people try to say that it's flat?
My best friend thinks the earth is flat, and I'm like, girl, no. I'm like, it just makes so much more sense that it's round. Like, what would even be the point of them lying to us and saying that the earth was round when it was flat, you know?
Man, I don't know. What would be the point of a lot of things that is said to us that could possibly be a lie? I don't know. But like, there is some things that like I question. I'm not pro either or, to be honest. I haven't been up there myself or, seen it with my own eyes. So like I can't say exactly. But there is some things that are questionable. Like if we're spinning as fast as they say we're spinning, how is the stars that we see in the Milky Way at Yosemite just stationary the whole time? You ever think of
Well,
that?
you've seen what's it called? Time lapses of the sky. They definitely move, but like the Earth is so big, and in comparison to us, that we're not gonna see them moving, you know, with our own eye.
Right, right. I fell into the TikTok algorithm, the flat Earth TikTok algorithm at a certain point, and
Yeah.
it gets pretty fucking mind boggling watching all that stuff. But I mean, I don't know. It's funny though seeing people argue in the comments more than anything. I feel.
Yeah, no, I love conspiracies, and there are a lot of conspiracy theories that I agree with or I see validity in, or valid validity, right? That's weird. But flat Earth, I can't get behind it. I'm sorry.
All right, everybody. She's a round earther. Shout out to Taylor. Somebody in the comments says, "Why did you bring up this convo?" I don't know, Jay. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I bring up that I don't know why I bring up. This is
Why
just
not?
yeah, this is just a strictly improv podcast. Like I don't typically have like a list of things to run down, but every now and then I might have a little guideline of things. But most of the time, it's just shooting the shit, showing you all what it would be like for you all to get to know your favorite models. And we are incredibly thankful that Taylor would come on the Plenty of Feet pod and spend some time with us and let you all know that she cares about the fans and the people consuming her content as well, because at the end of the day, that's what this is, right?
Yep, 100%. I love going on and doing lives too. I think it's really fun getting to talk with everybody. So hopefully in the future I can get more people to join my lives and have fun on there.
Where would you go live at?
I've gone live on Instagram and OnlyFans, of course. I want to end up doing probably like a weekly live actually on OnlyFans.
That would be cool right there. Something to look forward to for people to come and subscribe to your page.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, shout out to that. Was there anything you would like to tell all of your fans, your future fans of your brand before we get off the podcast today?
I don't know. Like, thank you guys for all the support. This community has been amazing so far, and it's really flattering that you guys are enjoying my content. But yeah.
Well, shout out to you, Taylor, and thank you once again for being on the Plenty of Feet pod. It is incredibly an honor, and I know that your brand is just going to continue to grow, and you are a very nice person, and I'm sure that everybody will see that as well. So shout out to them. Round of applause.
Thank you for having me. It's been super fun.
Absolutely, you got it. Well, how about we foot march all the way on out of here, and I'll talk to you after the live broadcast.
Awesome.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, everybody, for being on the live. And if you are not watching this live, shout out to you too. I know a lot of you aren't able to catch the lives, but hey, you can always watch it over and over again on YouTube, Spotify. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, all those great places. I am parched right now. 1 second, everybody. And once again, shout out to Taylor. Great, very cool person. And her IG and Twitter, once again, is Barefootbbaby. So BarefootBbaby. And if you go to one of those platforms, I'm sure she will have links there for other places you can go and enjoy her content. So shout out to that. Shout out Nelson, man. All right, everybody. I'll see you all next podcast. Oh, and everybody, I have creators coming on the podcast this week. This week is going to be the first week I introduce the Creators Podcast, where I'm going to start bringing on the people behind the lens, the people doing graphics, the people doing photos, videos, all that great stuff. So you'll start being able to see some of your favorite creators on the podcast as well. On Wednesday, we're going to have Nike MD. He does a lot of Giantess photos and graphics and edits. So be sure to catch the first creators episode. Shout out to Elite Feet Street too. He's going to be on, as well as Soulful Discussions later this week. So right on, everybody, for watching, and we will catch you next podcast.